Alright, we're going to do a little bit of formulas and percents. And we're finding the average rate. So I got these two problems right here. Check this out. So in 2007, range shortened the Indianapolis 500 race to 415 miles. And it was won by Dario Franchetti, who averaged 151.774 miles per hour. What was his time to the nearest 1,000? So check this out here. You probably have heard of DIRT. D equals RT. DIRT. Also known as distance equals rate multiplied by time. Distance equals rate multiplied by time. So if you check this out right here, what is it that we're being asked to do? What was his time to the nearest 1,000th? Okay? What was his time? So if distance is equal to the rate multiplied by the time, aren't we trying to figure out what the time is? So we're going to use what we learned in the last example, and we're going to solve for t first because we want some kind of equation that's going to give us the time. So let's go ahead and just solve for t, and we can simply do that by just dividing both sides by r. And now we have the distance divided by the rate is going to give us our time. Okay? So now let's see if we can pull what the distance and the rate is, and then we can figure out what the average time is. And now I just put that away. So the distance, d, is 415 miles per hour. Okay, so our distance right here looks like it's going to come from right here, 415 miles per hour. Again, it was supposed to be a 500-mile race, right? Because that's the Indianapolis 500, but the rain kind of shortened it. And then the 151.774, that's going to be our rate. Okay. So let's go ahead and plug them in and see what we get. So I'm going to kind of come up here and say my time is my distance, 415 miles, all over my rate of 151.774 miles per hour. And this is very important that you're actually putting the units, because this is a real life problem. Put the units of measurement there. Alright, so we can first do the calculation easily by just using our calculator. 415 divided by 151.774, and you would get a whopping 2.734. Okay, and that's to the tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, so check this out. We just don't want to say 2.734 because we want to know, well, what is this? Is this 2.734 seconds, minutes, hours, days? Okay. And we don't want to guess here, but the answer that we do get should make sense. So what I want to do is just kind of deal with what we have here. How do we handle miles divided by miles per hour? That's what we want to figure out. How do you figure this out right here? Okay, so the way that this works is we keep our numerator m, and then when we divide by a fraction, we're gonna change the division to multiplication, and then we're gonna flip this right here, h over m. So if we have m times h over m, well, the m's just cancel out, and I'm left with h. So our answer here should be h. But what does h really stand for? It's hours, miles per hour. That's what the H stands for, is hours. So really, it should take, on average, 2.734 hours to complete this race. Okay, so that's the context right there, and it's really important that to simplify our miles over our miles per hour. Okay, let's do the same thing for this example over here. So Ron Newman, he also won his race, which now was 500 miles, with a rate of 152.672 miles in 2008. Find the time to the nearest 1,000th place. So we're going to use the same formula here, meaning that we're going to use time equals distance over rate, because it's asking us to find the time. So I know we're going to use t equals d over r. Now let's just go ahead and replace d and r. Well, our distance is 500 miles, and our rate, it says right here, 152.672 miles per hour. Okay, so doing that calculation on your calculator, 3.275. And since this is the same thing, we've already learned that m over h is just h. So it'll take 3.275 hours. And that is an h right there. And there it is.